That's really cute. All right, good. Is
That's great.
her sister's foreign exchange student?
Good morning. Welcome, both here in the sanctuary and also online on YouTube Live Land, to the Sunday worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg. We are currently on the unceded ancestral lands. Hi, good to see you. Sula's here. Sula Donalo is here. It's good to see you, Sula. Sorry, I won't do that for everyone. We are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole Native people. And we have so much talent up here today. We're going to have the UU St. Pete Bell Ringers performing with two new members of the Bell Ringers. Am I right? Kathy and Amy. We are going to have special original song by Donna Starr and David Snaith. Am I saying Snaith right? Ish. And our worship associate is John Motter, so who could get better than that? Good morning, John.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning, everyone. If you want a church where Black Lives Matter, where books are not banned, where we strive to treat all people with fairly and kindly, and where each person is free to search for what is true and right in life, I have good news for you. You may have found your church home.
Thank you, John. And speaking of Johns, John Curtis is here, right? Where are you, John? Oh, hey, there's John Curtis. And you don't have to stand up, but you can. He's the guy sitting there, and he has this absolutely spectacular exhibit. John, as you might know, Dr. John is one of our members, retired psychiatrist, and his retirement, one of his retirement hobbies is doing these spectacular portraits of unhoused people, and particularly the unhoused folks who come on Fridays. And so this is the grand opening is today. So go ahead and take a look at that when you have a second.
And our second announcement is about books. Someone donated their entire book collection to us. There's either 10 or 12 boxes, so there's a lot of books out there. Almost all of them are on religion and philosophy, and so please take as many as you like, and we'll give the rest to the library. So please take as many as you like.
Unitarian Universalists are a people of diverse beliefs, but we do share a common faith that every person is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, and that we are connected to one another and to the earth. So whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, you're welcome here.
Do you want me to? So,
I think that's you, right?
no, I'll do it. It's you, but we want to give a special welcome to any newcomers. If you are new to UU St. Pete, or even relatively new, can you give a wave? If you'd like, please stand as you are willing and able and briefly introduce yourself. Ben will bring the microphone to you so those on YouTube can hear what you're saying. You are under absolutely no obligation to say anything, but if you're willing, we would truly love to hear from you.
Hi, I'm Robert Logan. This is my wife, Krisha. This is our second time coming. We're really looking forward to getting to meet all of you, and we're just excited to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Bourgault. This is my first time here, but I have some friends here that I heard about Unitarian Universalists from, and I'm happy to be here. Everybody's so nice and welcoming. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. We're truly so glad you're here. Thanks to everyone for silencing your cell phones. Regarding masks, if you would like one, they are available at either entrance. And that's yours too, but I'll do it. Just call me Ben Jr. We're about to greet our neighbors, so remember to ask for consent before giving someone a hug or shaking their hand. I invite you to turn to someone close to you and say, "You are not alone." Let's have a conversation.
As it was last week, we are going to do our first hymn before we do our chalice lighting. So a few of you just sat down. Please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn. It's number 347, Gather the Spirit, in the gray hymnal.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in the light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit, growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
And stay
Please
standing.
remain standing for the lighting of the chalice.
Please remain standing if you're willing and able for the lighting of the chalice. The flaming chalice The flaming chalice is a reminder that we choose to focus here together for this time today, and that we believe such time is sacred. As John Curtis lights our chalice, I invite you to say our covenant out loud. The words can be found within your programs and online in the text chat. Love, is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
You may be seated. Thank you, John. And I want to invite all of our children to come forward for our time for all ages. And please bring the little wooden seats up there with you. Because the bells are here, we're going to all sit like in a row here. And I know this story by heart, so I don't need, well, my glasses for one thing. All right. So Aaron did not get to their story last time, the three little pigs, because they were distracted. So the story for today is the three little pigs. Now, once upon a time, there... I'm sorry, Sophie. That's really funny looking, that nose of yours. So there were three pigs, and each of them had a separate house, and the houses were made of different materials. You okay? What? What'd I do? Did I do something wrong? Should I have not said her nose looked funny? No. Okay. Thanks for keeping her company. I think I hurt her feelings by saying her nose looked funny. What should I do? I mean, I gotta make up for this. I made a mistake. What should we do? She looks. Say sorry. Okay. And what? Alex? I'll go say sorry to her. I'll be right back. Sorry, everyone. Sophie? I'm sorry I said your nose looked funny. It seems to be gone now, so here's a new one. Will you come back and join us? All right. So this is a good lesson too, right? Even better than the pigs. Like if somebody by mistake, or especially if somebody on purpose, makes fun of somebody because they're different, a good thing to do is what you suggested, right? Say sorry if it's obvious you've done wrong. Is there anything else we can do to make up for it? Okay, yeah. Oh, we all wear a red nose, like in solidarity? All right, well, fortunately they fit in my pocket, so here we go. Red nose for you. Red nose for you. Would you like a red nose? Okay, and does this better? Do you feel like you're not alone? All right, good. We'll get to the three little pigs some other time, I guess. And then in the meantime, I know you have an obstacle course to attend to, so let us sing our children out to their classrooms. You get to keep your noses. Go now in peace, go now in peace.
A reading by the late black feminist author Bell Hooks. I am often struck by the dangerous narcissism fostered by spiritual rhetoric that pays so much attention to individual self-improvement and so little to the practice of love within the context of community. Packaged as a commodity, spirituality becomes no different from an exercise program. While it may lead the consumer feeling better about his or her life, its power to enhance our communion with ourselves and others in a sustained way is inhibited.
Thank you, John. It's now time in our worship service for joys, sorrows, and concerns. If you still have a few seconds to fill out one of these cards and get them up to John or myself, or you can give it to someone to bring it forward for you. If you have to submit during the week, you can write it to me, minister@uustpete.org. Who's putting our stones?
And right now, Joanne Kellner will
Joanne
place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week. The ripples emanating from the stones remind us that the impact of our lives can ripple throughout our community.
Thanks, Joanne. Thanks, John. First is a stone of joy from Sandra Lewis. Sandra, you're here somewhere, right? Hey, Sandra. Sandra's brother received a new kidney this week. So this is a stone of joy and also one of sorrow. Yeah, it's very exciting. She did submit it as a stone of sorrow also. She says, so many tears shed for the family who lost a loved one.
Next, a stone of concern on race relations in the world. Tomorrow marks the 32 years since 4 police officers were found innocent of using excessive force in the brutal beating of Rodney King. The 5 days of rioting after the verdict was announced resulted in 50 deaths, more than 2,000 injuries, and over 6,000 arrests. May we have faith that our world can begin to embrace the necessary love and strength needed to bring about lasting change and peace.
A stone of sorrow from Kelly Patton. Kelly says, Chauncey and I are deeply saddened by the loss of our beloved Chihuahua, Rosa, who crossed the Rainbow Bridge. She was loved by all who knew her and had a long list of animal friends, including the neighborhood feral cats, a peahen who stopped to meet her while walking by, and a lizard who would often lay down next to her so they could nap in the sun together. We all miss her so much.
A stone of joy from Carmina Day, who is reunited with a lifelong friend. Carmina says, we had a falling out a year ago, and I have missed her every day since. We met yesterday for coffee and agreed to find a way forward in our relationship. A burden has been lifted. I love that sentiment.
Yeah. Stone of joy from Carol Ulmer, whose daughter Caitlin Dagan married Jake Cunningham in a private ceremony in Central Park on Friday. Congratulations, Carol, and congratulations to your family.
A stone of sorrow from Allison Lonke. Allison has endured some unjust circumstances over the past couple of months. As a result, she needs to choose whether to repeat 2 or more years of graduate school to obtain her master's degree in mental health counseling. Allison is requesting advice and support after the service from members who have experience working as mental health professionals.
Allison, are you here? You can raise your hand so they can find you. There's Allison. That's who she is. If you want to talk to her about that or anything else. A stone of concern from someone who doesn't want to be named. This person has been involuntarily admitted to a psychiatric hospital in Tampa. They are feeling isolated, alone, and scared, and they would appreciate any prayers.
I'm going to combine these next two. You know, a couple has been together for a long time when they put in almost exact joys and sorrows. The wording is so close. So I'm going to read the one from Donna. This is from Don and David. How grateful they are to be a part of this community filled with kindness, warmth, and open hearts and minds. The sadness is that this is their last time here until the fall. I will carry this love in my heart.
A stone of sorrow, again from someone unknown, and again, this is a family member is currently hospitalized for their mental health. They are getting better, but will be a long, hard journey, and this is different than the other person, so we're keeping 2 folks in our hearts who are hospitalized for their mental health.
A stone of joy from Emmy. Family friend Karam has left Gaza and arrived in Seattle safely.
A stone of joy from Gordia on the extension of Title IX protections to trans people nationwide. And a final stone, unless someone runs one up, of joy from Nancy Millichamp and Terry Perkins. It's a stone of sorrow for me, but for them it's joy. As part of the seasonal migration, we will be slowly journeying north to Vermont on Tuesday. We will miss all of our UU friends here, but look forward to seeing those we love there. It is a joy. I was just kidding about the other thing, but they say see you in November, and we'll see you in November as well. There you are. Let's bring to mind and hold close to our hearts both families who have folks in psychiatric hospitals, to those who are traveling north, to all trans non-binary people on the extension of Title IX protections. I don't remember who's from over
Karam and for getting out of Gaza, and hope that their family still remaining is staying safe.
Okay. For Allison Lonkey, for Carol Ulmer and her daughter Caitlin Dagan and their families, for Carmina Day and her friend, and for Kelly Patton and Chauncey on the loss of their dog, from Sandra Lewis and her brother. All those who are known to us and unknown who are facing challenges, who are facing health concerns. I know some of you are facing housing concerns as well. Now please join us for our responsive reading written by John Motter. May our hearts not become calloused by the never-ending incidences of oppression and hatred that so many face each day.
Rather, may we keep our hearts open to the positive efforts of so many people causing good trouble in the world. May we have the strength to demand and gain the right for all people to have a safe place to sleep, health care to keep them strong, and the knowledge that their lives matter.
The struggle is taking longer than it should, but we will get there if we continue to strive for basic human rights. May all of us find a comforting, compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community. And Joanne, if you could put one more stone in there. That's for the joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts. Perhaps they are too tender to be spoken out loud. The mystery is that we are connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in this beloved community that makes of the many one, and let's take about a minute of silence together. John and I will now read two parts of the suggested Article 2 changes to the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association.
The first one is this month's theme of services, interdependence. We honor the independent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships.
And the second one this morning is generosity. It reads, we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality.
Hey there.
Close enough. That's-
I'm Donna.
Hi. Oh, yeah. That's
And
close
this
enough.
is David.
Hi.
And we have a song to share with you today. It's a gift from us to you and a thank you for such a welcoming community. It's called Turn On the Light of Your Love, and it has a fun chorus to sing, and you're such a great singing group. I thought I'd teach you the chorus first. So here's what it sounds like. Turn on the light of your love, my friend. Turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be. Turn on the light of your love. Pretty easy. So I'm gonna sing the first two lines and then have you sing it with me right after that, and then we'll do the last two lines. All right, so let's see, let's do 2, 3, here we go. Turn on the light of your love, my friend. Turn on the light of your love. All right, more than just a few. Here we go. Turn on the light of your love, my friends. Turn on the light of your love. There we go. I forgot to say that, you know, there's so many people who sing and they always sing, but there's always some people who wish they could sing or really want to sing and they never have. And the thing about a sing-along is it doesn't matter if you can sing or not. It's for fun. So this is your chance. If you've been waiting for the opportunity to sing, this is one of those times. Okay, so let's do those first two lines again. Turn on the light of your love, my friend. Turn on the light of your love. Here's the last two lines. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be. Turn on the light of your love. All right, all together now. Turn on the light of your love, my friend. Turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be. Turn on the light of your love. All right. So we're gonna warm up our instruments, and then we start with the chorus. So just join right in whenever it's the chorus. All right, are you ready, David?
Yeah.
Here we go. Turn on the light of your love, my friend. Turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be. Turn on the light of your sinking low, feeling oh so bad, 'cause of all the loving that you don't have. Turn around and lend a helping hand, yeah, turn on the light of your love. Turn on the light of your love, my friend, turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be, turn on the light of your love. Be the friend that you wish you had, don't let your mistakes keep you sad. Turn off your thoughts and do what you can, yeah, turn on the light of your love. Turn on the light of your love, my friend, turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be, turn on the light of your love. Got those blues 'cause your kids moved away, your mom or your dad can't remember your name. Cry those tears and love them anyway, yeah, turn on the light of your love. Turn on the light of your love, my friend, turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be, turn on the light of your love. Set your heart and your soul free, kindle the flames of possibility, grow the you that you long to be, yeah, turn on the light of your love. Turn on the light of your love, my friend, turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be, turn on the light of your love. One more time. Turn on the light of your love, my friend, turn on the light of your love. Don't wait to see how it's gonna be, turn on the light of your love. All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
Truly, thank you for that. It was wonderful. Some of you may have heard that my schedule has been a little bit full lately, which has led to a little bit of an increase in stress. Or you may have recently been the recipient of my new favorite tagline, I apologize that and you can fill in the blank. It's hard to believe that it's been 6.5 months since Mom and I moved into our new place. At first, it was a strange feeling knowing that Bill was alone in the old house. And it was a scary feeling to know that I wouldn't have Bill around to help split the duties of taking care of the house and making sure Mom was comfortable. But I knew I had done it before. I moved to Ocala to help as my stepdad was dying. And after his passing, I stayed to help Mom adjust to this new stage of life. We more than managed, we thrived. We'd been each other's support through Harvey's illness, shared memories, good and sad, that only we experienced. Mom was not left alone and isolated after losing the love of her life. We talked about the options of the different places where she could live. All of the siblings were concerned about her staying alone in Ocala. My nearest sibling was in North Carolina, and that just seemed too far away. And so, after the 2010 New Year's Eve celebration, we set off on the 3-week trek across the country to Oregon. I piloted 53 feet of fiberglass and steel. The leading vehicle was a 38-foot Alfa RV named Alf RV, in honor of my late stepfather, Harvey. A towing hitch and my little Honda Fit brought up the rear. It was actually a breeze to drive that thing. People give you a lot of leeway when they see an RV because they figure there's some old man that can't see where they're driving, and I was semi-old. But we had an absolute blast along the way. So yes, I had taken care of Mom on my own before, when I was 14 years younger and when she was 14 years younger. I thought, holy crap, I'm going to fail at this. How am I going to do it? But I haven't failed. I found that I had new tools to manage things. Saying I'm sorry and genuinely meaning it goes a long way, as does looking forward to a 2-hour periodontal scaling of your teeth as a chance to catch a few extra Z's in a really nice reclining chair. And I did. Believe it or not, they have things that prop your mouth open so you don't chomp down on their hands while they're doing that. You may be wondering where the heck I'm going with this whole stream of thought. Last Saturday at about 3 p.m., I realized that I was worship associate this week, and I had not talked to Reverend Ben about what the topic was. A quick check to our UUSP website told me that it was entitled, "You Are Not Alone," but there was no blurb. We did not have a blurb yet, and so this was my chance to appear to be a little bit prepared. I read through the Soul Matters materials for the month, and by 4:08, I had drafted an email to Reverend Ben with my thoughts on You Are Not Alone. The first thought was the obvious idea of a person feeling that they are alone or isolated, and the need to encourage them through a message of hope. This seemed predictable, plus it didn't really address the monthly theme of interdependence. My next thought was the idea that we are all individuals and are on our own journey of life and improvement. This is a good thing, but is it always the best thing? This speaks kind of to the consumer versus citizens theory of church. The idea that we come each Sunday to get sustenance that we need for ourselves. If I'm not moved by the service, then it's a failure of a service. It can cause us to overlook the needs of the person sitting next to us, or in front of us, or behind us. Can't I rejoice in the fact that the person next to me came in with a concern that was crushing their spirit, and they left with a smile on their face? They needed the message more than I did, and so I know that maybe next week will be the week that that message hits me where it needs to. I think it also allows some people to overlook the growing fascism in our society because, as of now, their world has not been impacted or overtly impacted by the restrictive laws being passed at all levels of government. It's easy to overlook the assault on the BIPOC community, the trans community, the LGBTQIA+ community, when you are a white, heterosexual, cisgendered person. It's easy to overlook the fact that many younger people may never be able to own a home and don't have a 401k if you've been fortunate enough to benefit from a more traditional old-school pension plan. Charles Taylor said, "Individualism names what many people consider to be the finest achievement of modern civilization." He then goes on to state, "The dark side of individualism is a centering on the self, which both flattens and narrows our lives, makes them poor in meaning and less concerned with others of society." And it was this quote that led me to my final thought. I think there is a need for many people to wake up from the stupor they seem to be in, or the need to wake up to what is and what has been happening, not just in the US, but around the world. Many people are passively watching fascism take over because they haven't been personally affected by what's happening, or they think that their individual actions can't make a difference. If you or someone you know seems to live in that final place of thought, then you are not alone. I'm begging you to please wake up before it's too late. We need you. You are valued, and none of us are alone. We are all interdependent upon each other. I realize that I'm not the only caregiver to my mom. You see, I need your help, and you give it freely. I always joke that Mom sits and holds court every Sunday morning as people go by and greet her and talk to her. You give it by visiting with my mom, by letting me be a little bit behind on things, by asking how I'm doing, or by simply giving me a smile. I will do my best always to help you. I am not alone. You are not alone, and we definitely are not alone.
Thank you so much, John. John reminded us that our theme this month has been the gift of interdependence. Next month, we begin a theme, the gift of pluralism. And this past Wednesday, I saw many of you at our Passover Seder, and one of our readings from the UU Haggadah compared the plagues during the time of Moses to modern-day plagues, the making of war, the teaching of hate and violence, despoliation of the earth, perversion of justice and government, fomenting of vice and crime, neglect of human needs, oppression of nations and peoples, corruptions of culture, subjugation of science, learning, and human discourse, and the erosion of freedoms. Starting you on a cheerful note this morning. Tracy Chapman wrote a song that many of you have heard called Why, with a similar list. Why do the babies starve when there's enough food to feed the world? Why, when there are so many of us, are there people still alone? Why are all the missiles called peacekeepers when they're aimed to kill? Why is a woman still not safe when she's in her home? And I've always appreciated that in this list of plagues that includes starvation, domestic violence, and nuclear annihilation, Tracy Chapman includes being alone. And I agree with her choice. Loneliness and isolation can be deadly. Of course, feeling alone isn't the same thing as being alone, and John's words remind us, and his is a good example of how to remember that you're not alone, that we are not alone. To change the actual isolation, the actual being alone, we need to change the structure. We need to make more friends. We need to maybe get involved with the church, maybe get rid of capitalism. Maybe change how our culture treats older folks, using that capitalist model to warehouse them in rooms, staffing those rooms minimally so that those who own the facility can turn a profit. Well, why should we be making this a profit-making venture? Healthcare. We should side with those who are marginalized, as John said so eloquently, so those who are not alone in facing oppression, in facing violence. Now, here at UU St. Pete, part of our shared ministry is to overcome this structural isolation and weave a beloved community. And we do this like we do everything, imperfectly and with limited resources. Many of you here today, even those who have just joined, have become pretty quickly an integral part of our web that we are weaving. It's so strong that you will spend months north of here and you will still feel a part of this web. I'm certain of it. Even so, many of us do still feel alone, especially when times are hard. And you heard those long lists of sorrows and concerns. For many of us, times are hard, which is why we need reminders. It's why I need a reminder that I am not alone. That's why it's become my catchphrase. You are not alone. So John Motter, you are not alone. As an HIV-positive gay man trying to balance family and church responsibilities with self-care and good boundaries. Where did Azariah go? Oh, Azariah Moses, you are not alone. As a black trans man facing rising rent and rejection by loved ones. Danny Bly, you are not alone. Navigating the world as a neurodivergent, non-binary person. Barbara Archibald, you are not alone as you face a life without your beloved Tom. The 18-month anniversary has just passed. And several of you here have lost spouses in recent years, and some of you in recent months. None of you are alone. Morgan Ballard, you're not alone as you work to establish a safer space for your unhoused friends. Ruth Bentley, you are not alone as you enter your 9th decade in a body that is increasingly vulnerable. Kelly Patton, you are not alone as you mourn your beloved Rosa. John and James, you are not alone as gay men who dared to get married despite widespread homophobia. And Allison Lonke, you are not alone as you navigate injustice and face difficult career decisions. Now, John ended his reflection with, I am not alone, you are not alone, we are not alone. And in this congregation, we have one another. Outside our congregation is where I'll focus now. We have others who align with our mission. This Tuesday, many of us, hopefully at least 75 of us, that's our goal, will be at the Fast Nehemiah Action at First Baptist Church of St. Pete, 7 p.m. We will stand fast together and sit fast together in support of affordable housing, a sensible response to climate change and the decriminalization of minor traffic offenses. Now, we are also connected with those of us who do not align with our mission. Barbara told me her favorite part of the Haggadah is here on page 12. The tradition says that we spill wine from our cups in recounting the plagues because it is incumbent on us to reduce our pleasures as we remember the sufferings of the Egyptians, the ones who just kicked them out. And the tradition also tells us that when the angels rejoiced in the drowning of the Egyptians, the Lord rebuked them, saying, Are these not my people also, and the work of my hands? Let us therefore grieve for the sufferings of our brothers and sisters, I would say our siblings, the Egyptians. We are a liberal church in Florida, so we are surrounded by people who do not agree with us. And even here at UU St. Pete, we do not always agree on things. I know you're surprised. Yet with a little work and a lot of love, our web is repaired and we remain connected. Or as Donna and David sang, we can turn on the light of our love. Don't wait to see how it's going to be. We can turn on the light of our love. We're not alone. Beyond Pinellas County, UU churches across the state are working to build their own beloved community. Our very own Patty Hanks, who many of you know, is being ordained as a Unitarian Universalist minister on June 8th. You are all invited. I can't wait to attend. A few weeks ago, some of you attended the conference for UU, the retreat, for UU women, led by Dana and April and others here at UU St. Pete. And then yesterday at UU Orlando, some of our folks were at this conference called Beyond the Binary. Many trans, non-binary, and ally UUs gathered for that conference. And we are not alone beyond Florida. The world has become very small. Many of us are connected with people all over it. And when those of us, even those of us who are far away, suffer or are marginalized, we can lean into our connection with them. If your nose is red, our noses will be red too. So, we are not alone in space, locally, statewide, nationally, and internationally, but this may blow your mind. We are also not alone in time. We are connected to those of us who came before us. Here at UU St. Pete and in this denomination, these very pews, these comfortable pews that you are sitting on, were made by people who are no longer here. And we in turn will plant seeds that bear fruit long after we're gone. This fruit will feed our descendants, maybe even the ones who will sit here in this building generations from now. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The glory of friendship is not the outstretched hand, not the kindly smile, not the joy of companionship." Emerson said, It is the spiritual inspiration that comes to one when you discover that someone else believes in you and is willing to trust you with a friendship. Now, these words are from a guy who is no longer alive, but his words are. His words and his example continue to live in our minds and our hearts, and they continue to teach us what it means to be connected long after he is gone. And finally, we're not alone spiritually. John read to us from Bell Hooks. And Bell Hooks tells us that packaged as a commodity, spirituality becomes no different from an exercise program. Yet, true spirituality eases the pain of loneliness, of isolation. And I do believe there is something greater than each one of us. I know some of you do believe in God, believe in a supreme being, and that you feel God's presence every day. I know some of you are Jewish, and you bring your Jewish identity to your Unitarian Universalism. I know some of you are Christian, and some of you feel the presence of Jesus Christ in your life. And I know some of you are humanists, are atheists, are agnostics. Yet you believe our work in this life is to improve this world. Surely this work is greater than each one of us. I know some of you are pagans like me, and maybe you feel the presence of the living Mother Goddess every moment of every day, as I do. And I know some of you, maybe many of you, aren't sure what you believe, but you do have a sense that there is something more out there, maybe something that can't be put into words. Now, I'll close with a story from the 1990s that some of you may remember. At the time, the town of Billings, Montana, was beset by hate crimes. Racist graffiti was painted on a Native American home, and in response, the Billings Painters Labor Union volunteered to paint over the graffiti. Worship service at an African American church was interrupted by yelling racist whites. The next week, throngs of anti-racist white people from other churches attended that black church in a show of solidarity and protection. And finally, a 6-year-old Jewish boy named Isaac had placed a menorah in his window for Hanukkah. Someone threw a brick through the window. The well-meaning police officer suggested that to the mother, Tammy, that maybe take down the menorah. And she said, but if I did that, what kind of example would I be setting for Isaac? Then the local paper published a menorah, a big full-size menorah in a full-page ad, and encouraged everyone to put it up in their windows. They all did. Almost everyone. Tens of thousands of Gentiles in this town that had maybe 100 Jews put it in their window. And some of you know this story because of my cousin, the Reverend Fred Small, the Unitarian Universalist minister. It inspired him to write this song called Not in Our Town. And I want to share some of the words of the song with you. Through the drifting snow, Tammy drove her children round to see all the menorahs in the windows of the town. Are all those people Jewish? Asked Isaac as they went. No, his mother answered. They are your friends. And the chorus is one moment of conviction, one voice quiet and clear, one act of compassion. It all begins here. No safety now in silence. We've got to stand our ground. No hate, no violence, not in our town. Now, in a group this size, and also given what we know about one another, Some of us are having a fantastic week. Some of us are having a hard week. And there are a few of us who are having the hardest week of their lives. We face difficulties like aging, weather, accidents, along with human-made challenges like discrimination, hatred, and structural oppression. These challenges may not change, but our response to them can. Let's face them the way we face everything, together. Let us work for a beloved community and for a better world. Let us remind ourselves and remind one another that we are not alone. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
In the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received so that we may take care of our beloved community and our vital mission and continue the work that we do every day.
What's given in love we receive with great joy, and we say thank you. St. Pete Bell Ringers. Please rise as you are willing and able to sing our final hymn. It's number 1021 in the Teal hymnal, Lean on Me.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if you have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Thank you, John. You may remain standing. We do have a final words, an Albert Einstein quote. So if you get tired, you can have a seat.
So Albert Einstein does provide the closing words that I've made gender neutral, so he wasn't that forward thinking as back in the day. A human being is part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. They experience themselves, their thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of their consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal task, or restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty.
Thank you, John. Now we invite you to say our chalice extinguishing as Mary Koch extinguishes our chalice. Did you know that they just got married, Mary and John? Newlyweds. Newlyweds. The words to our traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service online. They are in the online order of service as well. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. You may be seated during our postlude. Please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore Hall. And you know, if you're looking around, you see somebody you don't know, invite them to join you. Our worship is over, but our service begins, so we hope this time together will help you through your week. We'll help you remember you are not alone.